right, we'll move straight on, and this is where we start getting into the nitty-gritty. We have the first of our case presentations of innovation in action. As you'll have seen from the agenda, I'm sure you've all read the agenda, this is about how Veefin Solutions repurposed its composable digital lending low-code platform to build a digital loan guarantee solution for Kafalah in Saudi. So I'd like to invite on stage, please, the two gentlemen who can tell us all about this, and they are Abdullah Dabil, Head of Information Technology at Kafalah, and from Veefin, the Managing Director, Raja Debnath.
So in the digital world, we are still struggling with the non-digital aspects of getting ourselves ready. So there's a small presentation which we had to actually put up there. So now you'll see some magic. So till the time that comes up, so we heard something about fintech. We kept hearing the word fintech. So I'll just leave a thought with you all. So some of you have heard of the word techfin. Okay. So the difference between fintech and techfin, because there are a lot of techfins here. So techfins are companies or tech vendors who help financial institutions use technology to serve their customers better. So Veefin is one such company. So we are a techfin. We are not a fintech. Though there's something that we have just done a deal in India which will make us into a fintech. Okay. It's coming up. Yeah. So Veefin and Kafalah. So a lot of you all may not have heard of Veefin because we are a niche player. We focus exclusively on the supply chain finance and the digital lending space, more so only supply chain financing. So we are more on the corporate side, one could think of it. And we are focused towards lenders, not towards corporates. So that means our customers are the lenders. We do not touch corporates. So Kafalah was an interesting journey because Veefin, we are based in Bombay, 200 plus member team. We just listed ourselves on the stock exchange in July. And that's very unique because the usual route that fintechs and techfins take is using the VC and the PE route. We didn't take that because we said that eventually we will have to go to the stock market anyway. So let's short circuit the entire journey and go to the stock market. The market's been very kind to us over the last couple of months. Stocks up 3.5 times over the last 2 months, and last month we have signed a deal in India which basically allows us to create an ecosystem. We heard a lot of talk about platforms. So we are creating an ecosystem in the country there where all lenders, and I mean all lenders get to connect to our single platform, and we in turn connect to the entire ecosystem of fintechs and B2B marketplaces. So any lender who is interested in doing supply chain financing with any of these platforms gets access to all those customers, and that's where we turn into a fintech, because then we just don't provide tech, but we also manage the entire ecosystem. So it means standardizing the processes across the banks, signing on the agreements, doing the negotiation with all parties involved so that you are able to standardize the agreements and the commercial negotiations between all these parties. That's what we do. So when it came to, so this is what our end-to-end stack is. So our end-to-end stack is the onboarding piece. The onboarding journey then moves on to a low-code underwriting platform. Post that, it moves on to 2 different kinds of LMSs. One is your traditional LMS and one is specific for supply chain financing. And supply chain finance requires a separate LMS because in traditional all loan products, you have only one borrower, so to speak. But when it comes to supply chain financing, there are always 2 counterparties that you look at whenever you're doing a transaction. And traditional LMSs cannot handle it. So that is the niche that we actually picked up. So over the last, we started building out the product in 2017, and we have close to 50 clients globally now. And that's what we do. So we focused on the niche on supply chain finance, LMS, and then moved ahead. And then you have the debt collection at the end. So Kafalah is a unique case. So when we had to do the Kafalah project, we picked up our low-code underwriting platform and the LMS and then repurposed it for Kafalah. And I think if you go to the next slide, so I will leave this to Abdullah. And Abdullah and we have been working now for the last 2 years. So Abdullah can explain more about what is Kafalah, why did Kafalah want to do what it did in terms of the entire digitization process. And finally, I'll take over from him again in terms of explaining what does the new system look like.
Yeah, thank you, Raja. So Kafalah is a government program that is mainly designed to provide guarantees. It doesn't provide loans. So we mainly work with our partners like FIs and FPs, financial banking and financial institutes. And the idea is that we provide guarantees to SMEs that are looking for guarantees and to get loans. So the main idea is that we are working towards a platform that is mainly digital to digitalize and automate all of our processes in terms of providing quick loans to SMEs. So we came out and looking for a vendor that can support us with digitalizing the whole processes. So prior to Veefin and being partnered with Veefin, we thought that it would be very challenging to process Kafalah quickly. And we do have lack of data integration. We do have lack of workflow integrations. We are mainly manual processes. So we went to the market and checking up all what is, can support us with us, because we are not a loan itself. We are a program that is providing guarantees. So it is very challenging to find a loan origination system that can accommodate and fulfill our requirement. So we need a tailored tool that can help us, provide only guarantees. So we went to the market looking for a partner. We found Veefin, part of our, RF processes and so on. And can you go to the next slide? So we were looking for a low-code platform. We're looking for a gateway, API gateway, a system that has multiple dashboards and reports. We're looking for a solution that is capable of multilingual and to give us an overview of how our customer will look like in terms of multiple perspective. So yeah, and we have successfully deployed our solution less than a year. And we are very happy that we have achieved one of our milestones towards digital transformation. And I've heard most of you talking about generative AI and fintech. And I think our target was to go to an instant Kafalah, which is very challenging because we have to go through credit assessment, underwriting, and so on. So now we can issue a Kafalah in 1 day. Prior, like 3 years ago, our Kafalah is issued, which is a guarantee. Our guarantee was issued in 47 days. So it is a very big change towards supporting SMEs, especially with the new vision that we are targeting a non-oil economy. It would be one step further towards supporting SME. And we have multiple goals within the few years, is that we will go towards instant Kafalah. And to do so, we have to have a very solid platform that can support us achieve our goals. Now the ecosystem, the lending ecosystem in Saudi has reached into around 200 billion Saudi riyals. And it is going exponentially. And Kafalah is, at the meantime, covering around 30% of the loans within the government and within the country. And I think our target is to achieve not less than 35% of the loans within Saudi in the few years. Yeah.
Yeah, this works. So one of the core things of a guarantee program is, in a usual loan guarantee, you have only one amount. But in a guarantee program, you have multiple amounts, actually 3 amounts. Because one is for the guarantee company itself, one is for the lender, and second is for the customer. The third is for the customer. So there are 3 different amount programs that you have to run, and that was the challenge in terms of how do you compose your entire program. So what the Kafalah program does is, it allows every single lender in Saudi to connect with Kafalah, send all their applications and their files digitally to Kafalah. Kafalah then does its own underwriting on it and then provides the guarantee back to the lender. So that's the interesting piece. This was a very interesting journey also. If you can go to the next slide. This is something which we are very proud of, and we thank the Kafalah team. Most of us have seen digital lending systems where our credit managers are using some kind of an LOS. It's usually an accordion view of an application. But Kafalah was very clear that we spoke a lot about UI and UX. Kafalah wanted the most intuitive UI. So this took us close to 6 months of multiple iterations to arrive at. What this basically you see is a 360. It's a 360 of an application view for a credit manager. So a credit manager has a list view. From a list, if they click on any application, all information which is required by a credit officer, whether it's for a retail or for SME or for corporate, all of that can be seen on a single screen with multiple tabs within it. So this is something, once we have shown it to our newer clients, they have been really thrilled, because this is a very, very unique thing which is there in terms of how a credit manager can view things. And just one more slide post this, Nikhil. So this is the workflow manager which was used. So there's a GUI interface which Kafalah uses to compose its workflows whenever they want to, make changes whenever they want to, run A/B testing when they want to, has multiple interfaces both for the customers as well as for the backend users. So this is what the Kafalah program was all about, and we have time for questions. Yeah, we have Chetan there.
It's a very, very interesting on what you guys have done, especially on a guarantee kind of a product, which is always complex, and to give it a guarantee to third party and to a rising sector. So just wanted to understand, what are the challenges you faced in this journey while doing it for the first time? And is this a product use case now available, or similar innovation use cases?
So I used to be at the World Bank earlier, 7 years. So I've dealt with guarantee companies. Kafalah was always amongst the best guarantee companies globally. So when the opportunity came up, we jumped at it because there is no guarantee origination system in the world. So there's nothing called guarantee origination system. And there are 300 guarantee companies in the world. So we saw this as an opportunity of actually creating or co-creating a product with Kafalah from day one, because the RFP spoke about a loan origination system, not a guarantee. So till the time we didn't get in, we didn't know that our entire product, which was built for one lender, had to now be repurposed to now be fit for 3 amounts. That was a design challenge, so to speak. And dare say, when I think back now, if we would have known this is what we were biting, I don't think we would have bitten. But because we didn't know what we didn't know, we got into it. And after a 2-year journey, we have now ended up with a product which is something which is now productized. So now we are talking with multiple guarantee organizations globally. Most of them are sovereign. who now want the system, because everybody has been running the systems on Excel or part manual, part digital.
Just to add a few points, that the time we started, designing the system, there were multiple workflows. It is not less than 63 workflows, and it is extremely, from a technical background, it's extremely difficult to implement 63 workflows for just a guarantee. So it was very challenging, and that's what it takes, that much of time to understand the processes, and we had to reprocess and re-engineer the processes to make sure that we are on the right track. So I think, we are, we have done a very great, job, and we have achieved a very, a major milestone within Kafalah towards digital transformation.
Well, if we could thank Raja Debnath and Abdullah Dabil in the usual form.